Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja
Kunja Bihari
Bihari
Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallava Girvardhari
Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana Prajajanaranja
Yamuna Tira Manachari
Jamuna Tira
Tira
Banachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari
Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallava Girvardhari
Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Prajjana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jamuna Tira Banachari
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare
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 Rama
Rama Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Rama Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo
Nitai Gora Haribo Haribo
Haribo
Haribo
Haribo Nitai
Nitai
Gaura
Gora
Haribo
Haribo
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Gurudev
Gurudev Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Jaya Jaya
Gurudev
Gurudev
Gurudev Jaya Gurudev
Gurudev
Go to Premanande Hari Hari
Hari
Bo
Hari Bol
all glories to Srimad-Bhāgavatam ki
की जय।
All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki
की
jai.
जय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jeva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashti. Welcome everyone. Welcome to class. Today we're reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 5, which is named The Creative Impetus. So all around the early creation. And Chapter 2 is named The Activities of Maharaj Agnitra. So we'll recite, we're reading from 5.2.13 and verse 13. We'll recite together. Karvatma virtir adanada vir agavati.
कावत्मवृत्तिर्दनादविरङ्गवती।
Kavatma virtir adanad pavir angavati.
कावत्मवृत्तिर्दनादविरङ्गवती।
Vishnu kalasi animi sonmakaruja karno.
विष्णु कलास्य निमिषोन्मकरौ च कर्णो
Vishnu kalasi animi sonmakarokcha karno.
विष्णु कलास्य अनिमिष उन्मकरौ च कर्णो
Udvignamina yugalam vija pankti sochir.
उद्विग्नमीन युगलं विजपङ्क्तिशोचिः
Udvignamina yugalam vija pankti sochir.
उद्विग्नमीन युगलं विजपङ्क्तिशोचिः
Asana brigna nikaram sara inmukham te.
आसन्न भृङ्गनिकरं सरयित्मुखं ते
Asana bringa nikaram sarainmukham te.
आसन्न भृङ्गनिकरं सरयित्मुखं ते
मुखं ते।
Avatma virtir adanatavir angavati.
भावात्मवृत्तिरदनाद्विरङ्गवती
Vishnu kalasi animi sonmakaro cha karno.
विष्णु कलास्य निमिषोन्मकरो च कर्णो
Udvignamina yugalam vija pankti sochir.
उद्विग्नमीन युगलं
युगलं द्विजपङ्क्ति
विजपङ्क्तिशोचिः
शोचिर्।
Asana bringa nikaram sarainmukham te.
आसन्न
आसनभृङ्गनिकरं
सर इन्मुखं ते
मुखं ते।
Please chant.
कावात्मप्रीतिरदनद्वविरङ्गवती।
गावात्मवृत्तिरदनाद्विरङ्गवाती
विष्णो कलेशे अनिमिष्णमकारुचाकरनु।
विष्णु कलास्य निमिषोन्मकरो च कर्णो
उद्विग्नमीनयुगलं द्विज पङ्क्ति शोचिर्।
उद्विग्नमीन युगलं द्विजपङ्क्तिशोचिः
आसन भृङ्गानिकरं सरयन्मुखं ते
आसन्नभृङ्गनिकरं सर इन्मुखं ते गावात्मवृत्तिरदनाद्विरङ्गवाती
गावात्मवृत्ति
अदनस्तविरङ्गवाती
अदनस्तविरङ्गवाति
विष्णो कलास्य निमिषोन्मकरो च कर्णो
विष्णो कलयस्य अनिमिषोन्मकरं
निमिषोन्मकरो च कर्णो
कर्णो
उद्विग्नमीनयुगलं द्विजपङ्क्तिशोचिः
उद्विग्नमीनयुगलं
उद्विग्नयुगलं द्विजपङ्क्तिशोचिः आसन्नभृङ्गनिकरं सर इन्मुखं ते आसन्नभृङ्गनिकरं सर इन्मुखं ते हरे कृष्णा
कापात्मवृत्तिरदनादविरङ्गवाती
गावात्मवृत्तिरदनाद्विरङ्गवाती
विष्णो कलस्य निमिषो मकरो च कर्णो
विष्णो कलास्य निमिषोन्मकरो च कर्णो
उद्विग्नमीनयुगलं द्विजपङ्क्तिशोचिर्
उद्विग्नमीनयुगलं द्विजपङ्क्तिशोचिः
आसन्नभृङ्गनिकरं सरयन्मुखं ते
आसन्नभृङ्गनिकरं सर इन्मुखं ते
Very nice.
Thank you,
Janvi.
Mataji.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
कावात्मवृत्तिरदनाद्विरङ्गवाटी
कावात्मवृत्तिरदनादविरङ्गवाटी
विष्णो कलस्य निमिषोन्मकरौ च कर्णो
विष्णो कलस्य निमिषोन्मकरौ च कर्णो
उद्विग्नमीनयुगलं द्विजपङ्क्तिशोचिर्
उद्विग्नमीनयुगलं
द्विजपङ्क्तिशोचिः
आसन्नभृङ्गनिकरं सर इन्मुखं ते
आसन्नभृङ्गनिकरं सर इन्मुखं ते Very nice.
Beautiful, beautiful. Children, very nice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll move to word for word. Ka,
Ka,
what?
what?
Ba,
Wow.
and.
And
Atma vritti,
Atma-vritti,
food for maintenance of the body.
food for maintenance of the body.
Aranat,
Adana,
by the chewing of betel.
by the chewing of
betel.
betel.
Havihi,
Havihi,
pure sacrificial ingredients.
pure sacrificial ingredients.
Anga,
Anga.
my dear friend.
My dear friend.
Vati,
Vati,
emanate.
emanate.
Vishnu,
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 of Lord Vishnu.
of Lord
Lord
Vishnu.
Vishnu.
Kala,
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 expansion of the body.
expansion of the body.
Asi,
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 you are.
you
you
are.
are.
Animisa,
Animisha,
Animisa,
without blinking.
without blinking.
Anmakaro,
Anmakaro,
Karo,
two brilliant sharks.
two brilliant sharks.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Karno,
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 2 ears.
two
2
ears.
ears.
Udvigna,
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 restless.
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 Mina yugalam,
Meena yugalam,
possessing 2 fish.
Possessing 2 fish.
Vija pankti,
Dvija
Dvija
Pankti,
of lines of teeth.
of
of
lines
lines
of
of
teeth,
teeth.
Sochihi,
Sochi,
beauty.
beauty.
Asana,
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 nearby.
nearby.
nearby,
Bringa nikaram,
Karam,
possessing swarms of bumblebees.
possessing swarms of bumblebees,
bumblebees.
Saraha it,
Sarahit,
Sarahit,
like a lake.
like a
like
lake,
a lake.
Mukam,
Mukham,
Come,
face.
face.
Te,
Te,
your.
your.
Translation, we'll read together. My dear friend,
my dear
my
My
dear
friend,
friend,
what do you eat to maintain your body?
What do
what do
you
you eat to maintain your
maintain your
body?
body?
Because you are chewing beetle,
Because you
Because
You are
are
chewing
chewing
betel,
Peter,
a pleasing scent
a
a
pleasing
pleasing
scent
scent
is emanating from your mouth.
is
is
emanating
emanating
from
from
your
your
from your
mouth.
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 This proves that you always
This proves
This
that you
proves that
always
you always
eat the remnants of food offered to Vishnu.
Eat
eat
the
the
eat the
remnants of
remnant of
food
food offered
offered
to
to
offered to
Vishnu.
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 Indeed, you must also be
Indeed,
Indeed,
You
you
must
you must
also
also
be
be
an expansion of Lord Vishnu's body.
an
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 expansion of Lord
expansion of
Vishnu's
Lord
Lord
body.
Vishnu's
Vishnu's
body.
body.
Your face is as beautiful as a pleasing lake.
Your
Your
face
Your
is
face
as
is
face
as
is
beautiful
as
as a
beautiful as a
pleasing
beautiful
lake.
as a
pleasing lake.
pleasing lake.
Your jeweled earrings resemble two brilliant sharks.
Your
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 jeweled
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 earrings
earrings
resemble two
resemble
brilliant
two brilliant
sharks
brilliant
sharks
stalks
with unblinking eyes like those of Vishnu.
with
with
unblinking eyes
like
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 those of
those
those
of
Vishnu.
of
Vishnu.
Vishnu.
And your own eyes resemble two restless fish.
And
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 your
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 own
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 eyes
eyes
eyes resemble
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 two
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 restless
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 fish.
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 Simultaneously, therefore,
Simultaneously,
Simultaneously,
therefore,
therefore,
two sharks and two restless fish are swimming in the lake.
Two
two
sharks
sharks
and
and
two
and
two
restless
two
fish
restless
restless
are
fish are
swimming in the
swimming
lake
in the lake
Of your face.
of your
of
of
face.
your
your face.
face.
Besides them,
Besides
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 them,
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 the white rows of your teeth
the
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 white
white
rows
white
of your
rows of
rows
teeth
your
of your
teeth
teeth
seem like rows of beautiful swans in the water.
seem
seem
like
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 rows of
rows
rows
of
of
beautiful
very
beautiful
beautiful
swans
swans in
swans
the
in the
in
water.
the
water.
water.
And your scattered hair
And your
And your
scattered
scattered
hair
hair
resembles swarms of bumblebees,
resembles
resembles
swarms of
swarms of
Swarms of
bumblebees,
bumblebees,
bumblebees
following the beauty of your face.
following the
following
beauty
the
of your
beauty
face.
of your face.
Thank you. Purport, please hear. The devotees of Lord Vishnu. Just a moment. I'm just going to close my door because sorry, the gardeners are here. Purport. The devotees of Lord Vishnu are also his expansions. They are called Vibhinnamsa. Lord Vishnu is offered all kinds of sacrificial ingredients, and because devotees always eat prasad, the remnants of his food, the scent of sacrificial ingredients emanates not only from Vishnu, but also from the devotees who eat the remnants of his food, or the food of his devotees. Agnidra considered Purvachati an expansion of Lord Vishnu because of the pleasing scent of her body. Aside from that, because of her jeweled earrings shaped like sharks, because of her scattered hair resembling bumblebees, mad after the scent of her body, and because of the white rows of her teeth, which resembled swans, Agnidra compared Purvachati's face to a beautiful lake decorated with lotus flowers, fish, swans, and bumblebees. Om Agyantimirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschita Desutarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome everyone to class today. Where are we? Oops. Sorry, I'll just pull up some notes. Yes, welcome everyone to class today, and thank you all for your attendance, and thank you to the lovely children singing today, chanting from Bhagavatam, chanting the Vedic hymns. How blessed we are as devotees in this Zoom room to hear from such exalted Vaishnavas. So thank you very much, children. It's always such a blessing to glorify Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity. And before we really get into it, please may I ask for your blessings and also for your forgiveness if I make any mistakes or unintended offenses. And I'll start by reading that translation again, hey? My dear friend, what do you eat to maintain your body? Because you are chewing betel, a pleasing scent is emanating from your mouth. This proves that you always eat the remnants of food offered to Vishnu. Indeed, you must be an expansion of Lord Vishnu's body. Your face is as beautiful as a pleasing lake. Your jeweled earrings resemble two brilliant sharks with unblinking eyes like those of Vishnu. And your own eyes resemble two restless fish. Simultaneously, therefore, two sharks and two restless fish are swimming in the lake of your face. Besides them, the white rows of your teeth seem like rows of very beautiful swans in the water, and your scattered hair resembles swarms of bumblebees following the beauty of your face. So today, here are more descriptions of this meeting between young Prince Agnidra and the celestial nymph Purvachati. So far, these many descriptions at surface level seem quite sensual and materially flirtatious or sexual in nature. But devotees who can listen with ears of bhakti will understand there's always a much deeper, far more spiritual lesson to be had if we allow our Guru to teach us. Agnidra now asks, "What do you eat?" He remarks on the pleasing scent coming from her mouth, noting how she eats only prasadam and was clearly an expansion of Lord Vishnu's body. Wow! Her facial beauty was as pleasing as a lake, with these beautiful earrings and eyes that resembled these sharks and swimming fish so nicely. And also the mention of white swans, also the picture is so incredibly pleasing. That these swans beyond this lake beauty of her face. Indeed, Agnidra viewed her hair like beautiful bumblebees following beside her. And also this Vibhinamsa, this is the name of Lord Vishnu's expansions, his devotees. The Lord has offered so many things in sacrifice, and his devotees will eat his prasadam, or the remnants of his foodstuffs. And the sweet scent of prasadam, therefore, will always be carried on the breath of Lord Vishnu, and in turn on the breath of all his loving devotees. And from the bodily pores of his loving devotees will emanate these pleasant fragrances. Agnidra understood Purvachati to be an expansion of the Lord, because he was so greatly pleased by the scent and the aroma, the intoxicating scent and aroma of her person. He also compared her overall beautiful face to that of a beautiful lake, adorned with various beings of lotus flowers, swans and bees. What a glorious sight to behold! How overwhelmingly pleasing that must have been. And actually that seems to be the theme here in this part of Bhagavatam. These beautiful descriptions, just how pleasing the devotees of the Lord really are in all respects. So thinking about classes previously, we heard Samendra framing up the following, after Samendra, the following shlokas and purports, wherein, what did he say? Wherein he mentioned, I've got a poor memory, sorry. Wherein he mentioned that actually these parts of Bhagavatam now may seem quite romantic or sensual even, but when these descriptions are given, there's always a very spiritual purpose, he said, and that in fact, as devotees, we know not to see things at such a superficial level. Rather, we go deeper to understand the spiritual meaning, the spirituality within the lesson. So even though something may look like something in one way, from devotional ears and bhakti hearts, we'll read the lesson slightly differently to what superficially might be understood. So that was very nice. And then even yesterday, Bhavamai Mataji mentioned how devotees, we don't view lust as such. When we see these things in a spiritual context, it's more that we accept love in that instance, yeah? So again, alluding to deeper, more spiritual meanings, if we have, the bhakti senses to understand. So, look, with that in mind, I really had to think what today's class was about. And of course, to try and not confuse devotees too much further, I actually shot a quick email off to Her Grace Narayani Mataji, who is my Diksha Guru and very learned. She came back with this idea. She shot me one sentence, and it was this: how are devotees pleasing in all respects? How are devotees pleasing in all respects? And that's in keeping with these pretty far out descriptions that superficially we can get confused in. Let's not be confused. Let's try and understand, and please use your gurus for further meaning and understanding and clarification if you like, when topics may seem hidden they're not revealed to you fully, pray for some better understanding. Or do what I do and email your guru. And yeah, this seems right. This seems very right. How are devotees pleasing in all respects? So, having said that, let's rip into it. Sastra in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11.11.29 through to 32. Let me read. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kripalur Akrita Drohas Titiksu Sarvadehinam Satya Saro Navadyatma Samha Sama Sarvo Pakarakaha Karmya Hatadir Tanto Mirtu Suchir Achinchanaha Aniho Mita Buk Shanta Stito Mak Charano Munihi Arab Apramato Gabhiratma Tritiman Jita Sadguna Amani Manata Kalyo Matra Karunika Kavi Ajñavavam Yaivam Gunam Doshan Maya Distan Apisvakan Dharman Santayachaya Sarvan Mam Bhajeta Satu Satamaha. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Uddhava, a saintly person is merciful and never injures others. Even if others are aggressive, he is tolerant and forgiving toward all living entities. His strength and meaning in life come from the truth itself. He is free from all envy and jealousy, and his mind is equal in material happiness and distress. Thus, he dedicates his time to work for the welfare of all others. His intelligence is never bewildered by material desires, and he has controlled his senses. His behavior is always pleasing, never harsh, and always exemplary, and he is free from possessiveness. He never endeavors in ordinary worldly activities. He strictly controls his eating. He therefore always remains peaceful and steady. A saintly person is thoughtful and accepts me as his only shelter. Such a person is very cautious in the execution of his duties and is never subject to superficial transformations because he is steady and noble, even in a distressing situation. He has conquered over the 6 material qualities, namely hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. He is free from all desire for prestige and offers honor to others. He is expert in reviving the Krishna consciousness of others and therefore never cheats anyone. Rather, he is a well-wishing friend to all, but being most merciful. Such a saintly person must be considered the most learned of men. He perfectly understands that the ordinary religious duties prescribed by me in various Vedic scriptures possess favorable qualities that purify the performer, and he knows that neglect of such duties constitutes a discrepancy in one's life. Having taken complete shelter at my lotus feet, however, a saintly person ultimately renounces such ordinary religious duties and worships me alone. He is thus considered to be among the best among all living entities. Purport. It's fairly lengthy, but it's worth listening to. Verses 29 to 31 describe 28 qualities of a saintly person, and verse 32 explains the highest perfection of life. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the 17th quality, Matsarana, or taking complete shelter of Lord Krishna, is the most important. And the other 27 qualities automatically appear in one who has become a pure devotee of the Lord, as stated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 5.18.12. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvir gunas tatra samasate suraha. The 28 saintly qualities may be described as follows. 1. Kripalu. A devotee cannot tolerate seeing the world merged in ignorance and suffering, the whiplashes of Maya. And therefore, he busily engages in distributing Krishna consciousness and is called Kripalu, or merciful. 2. Akrita droha. Even if someone is offensive toward a devotee does not become offensive in return. Indeed, he never acts against the interest of any living entity. One may argue that great Vaishnava kings such as Maharaj Yudhisthira and Pariksit Maharaj executed many criminals. However, when justice is properly administered by the state, sinful, destructive persons actually benefit from their punishment because they become freed from the severe karmic reactions to their illicit activities. A Vaishnava ruler gives punishment not out of envy or malice, but in faithful obedience to the laws of God. The Mayavadi philosophers who want to kill God by imagining that he does not exist are certainly krita droha, or most injurious to themselves and others. The impersonalist imagines that he himself is supreme and thus creates a most dangerous situation for himself and his followers. Similarly, the karmis who are dedicated to material sense gratification are also killers of the self, because by their absorption in material consciousness, they lose all chance of experiencing the absolute truth and the truth of their own self. Therefore, all living entities who come under the control of materialistic regulations and duties are unnecessarily harassing themselves and others. And a pure Vaishnava feels great compassion and concern for them. A devotee never uses his mind, body, or words to perform any act harmful to the welfare of any living entity. 3. Titikshu. A devotee forgives and forgets any offense against himself. A Vaishnava is personally detached from his material body, which is made of pus, stool, blood, and so on. Therefore, the devotee is able to overlook the obnoxious behavior he sometimes meets with in the course of preaching work, and always deals with people as a perfect gentleman. A Vaishnava loudly chants the holy name of the Lord and tolerates and forgives those fallen conditioned souls who are unable to reciprocate properly with a pure devotee. Number 4, Satya Sara. A devotee always remembers that he is the eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is omniscient, the reservoir of all pleasure, and the ultimate enjoyer of all activities. By avoiding activities outside devotional service, a devotee remains fixed in fixed in the truth, does not uselessly waste time, and thus becomes bold, powerful, and steady. Number 5, anavad yatma. The devotee knows that the material world is a temporary phantasmagoria, and therefore does not envy anyone in any material situation. He never tries to agitate others or criticize them unnecessarily. 6, sama. A devotee remains steady and equal in material happiness and distress, fame or infamy. His actual wealth is his consciousness of Krishna, and he understands that his real interest lies outside the scope of material nature. He does not become excited or depressed by external events, but remains fixed in consciousness of the omnipotency of Lord Krishna. Sarvo pakaraka. Neglecting one's selfish desires and working for the satisfaction of others is called paropakara, whereas causing trouble to others for one's personal gratification is called parapakara. A devotee always works for the pleasure of Lord Krishna, who is the resting place of all living entities, and thus a devotee's activities are ultimately pleasing to everyone. Devotional service to Lord Krishna is the perfectional stage of welfare work, since Lord Krishna is the supreme controller of everyone's happiness and distress. Foolish persons under the influence of false egotism, considering themselves to be the ultimate well-wishers of others, execute superficial materialistic activities rather than attending to the eternal happiness of others. Because a devotee remains pure and engages in missionary activities, he is everyone's best friend. Number 8, kamair ahati. Ordinary persons see all material things as objects for their personal gratification, and thus try to acquire or control them. Ultimately, a man wants to possess a woman and enjoy sex gratification with her. The Supreme Lord supplies the desired fuel that causes the fire of lust to burn painfully in one's heart. But the Lord does not give self-realization to such misguided persons. Lord Krishna is transcendental and neutral, but if one is eager to exploit the Lord's creation, the Lord gives one facility through Maya, and one becomes cheated of real happiness by entangling himself in the false role of a great and lusty enjoyer of the world. On the other hand, one who has taken full shelter of Krishna is enriched with perfect knowledge and bliss, and is not cheated by the seductive appearances of the material world. A pure devotee does not follow the path of the foolish deer, which is seduced by the hunter's horn and killed. A devotee is never attracted by the sensuous entreaties of a beautiful woman, and he avoids hearing from bewildered karmis about the so-called glories of material acquisition. Similarly, a pure devotee is not bewildered by aroma or taste. He does not become attached to sumptuous eating, nor does he spend the whole day making arrangements for bodily comfort. The only actual enjoyer of God's creation is the Lord himself, and the living entities are secondary enjoyers who experience unlimited pleasure through the Lord's pleasure. This perfect process of experiencing pleasure is called bhakti yoga, a pure devotional service. And a devotee never sacrifices his auspicious position of steady intelligence, even in the face of so-called material opportunity. Number 9, danta. A devotee is naturally repelled by sinful activities and controls his senses by dedicating all his acts to Krishna. This requires steady concentration and a cautious mentality. Number 10, merdu. A materialistic person will always see people as friends or enemies, and thus will sometimes justify cruel or small-minded behavior in order to subdue his opponents. Since a devotee has taken shelter of Lord Krishna, he does not consider anyone his enemy and is never disturbed by the tendency to desire or enjoy the suffering of others. Thus he is murdu, or gentle and sublime. 11. Suci. A devotee never touches that which is impure or improper, and simply by remembering such a pure devotee, one is freed from the tendency to sin. Because of his perfect behavior, a devotee is called suci, pure. Number 12, akinchana. A devotee is free from possessiveness and is not eager to enjoy or renounce anything, since he considers everything to be Lord Krishna's property. 13, aniha. A devotee never acts on his own behalf, but rather for the service of Lord Krishna. He is therefore aloof from ordinary worldly affairs. Number 14, metta bhuk. A devotee accepts material sense objects only as far as necessary to keep himself healthy and fit in Lord Krishna's service. He is therefore not entangled by his sense activities and never injures his self-realization. When necessary, a devotee can give up anything for Lord Krishna's service, but he does not accept or reject anything for his personal prestige. Number 15, shanta. Those trying to exploit the Lord's creation are always disturbed. A devotee, however, is detached from such pointless activities and understands sense gratification to be diametrically opposed to his self-interest. Being always engaged according to the Lord's desire, he remains peaceful. Number 16, sthira. Remembering that Lord Krishna is the basis of everything, a devotee does not become fearful or impatient. 17, matsarana. A devotee does not take pleasure in anything except serving Lord Krishna and is constantly attentive in the execution of his duties. A devotee knows that only Lord Krishna can protect him and engage him in useful work. Number 18, muni. A devotee is thoughtful and through intelligent contemplation avoids becoming distracted from his spiritual advancement. By intelligence, he is freed from doubts about Lord Krishna and confronts all problems in life with steady Krishna consciousness. Number 19, apramata. One who forgets the Supreme Lord is more or less crazy, but a devotee remains sane by offering his activities to Lord Krishna. Number 20, Gabhiratma. As a devotee merges into the ocean of Krishna consciousness, his own consciousness becomes deeper and deeper. Ordinary, superficial persons hovering on the material platform cannot fathom the extent of a devotee's awareness. 21. Dritima. By controlling the urges of the tongue and genitals, the devotee remains steady and patient and does not impulsively change his position. Number 22. Jita Sadguna. By spiritual knowledge, a devotee is able to conquer the pushings of hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. 23. Amani. A devotee is not puffed up. And even if he is famous, he does not take such fame very seriously. 24. Manada. Manada. A devotee offers all respects to others, since everyone is part and parcel of Lord Krishna. 25. Kalya. A devotee is expert in making people understand the truth of Krishna consciousness. Jai. 26. Maitra. A devotee does not cheat anyone by encouraging them in the bodily concept of life. Rather, by his missionary work, a devotee is the true friend of everyone. 27. Karunika. A devotee tries to make people sane and thus is most merciful. He is paradukha dukhi, or one who is unhappy to see the unhappiness of others. And number 28, Kavi. Whenever I say that, I think of Prabhu's son, Kavi. Sorry, 28, Kavi. A devotee is expert in studying the transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna and is able to show the harmony and compatibility of the Lord's apparently contradictory qualities. This is possible through expert knowledge of the absolute nature of the Lord. Lord Chaitanya is softer than a rose and harder than a thunderbolt. But these opposing qualities can easily be understood in terms of the Lord's transcendental nature and purpose. One who is always able to understand the truth of Krishna consciousness without opposition or confusion is called Kavi, or most learned. The position of the spirit of those on the spiritual path can be understood in terms of their development of the qualities mentioned above. Ultimately, the most important quality is to take shelter of Lord Krishna, since the Lord can award all good qualities to his sincere devotees. In the lowest stage of devotional service, one acts with a desire to enjoy sense gratification, but at the same time tries to offer the fruits to the Lord. This stage is called Karma Misra Bhakti. As one gradually purifies himself in devotional service, he becomes detached through knowledge and gains relief from anxiety. In this stage, he becomes attached to transcendental knowledge, and therefore this stage is called Jnana Misra Bhakti, or devotional service to Lord Krishna with a desire to enjoy the fruits of transcendental knowledge. But because pure love for Krishna is actually the greatest happiness and the natural position of the living entity, a sincere devotee gradually overcomes his desire to enjoy sense gratification and knowledge and comes to the stage of pure devotional service, which is devoid of personal desire. Na karmani Tyajit yogi karmabis tyajyate hi saha. The yogi should not give up his work, but rather should cultivate detachment by which his material activities will automatically vanish. In other words, one should continue to perform one's prescribed duties even imperfectly. If one is sincere about advancing in Krishna consciousness, then by the strength of bhakti yoga, his activities will gradually be transformed into pure loving service. There are innumerable examples of fruitive workers, mental speculators, and materialistic devotees who become perfect by the strength of devotional service. By rendering loving service to Krishna, one automatically experiences the greatest pleasure of life and is endowed with perfect knowledge. There is nothing lacking in the process of pure devotional service, and there is no need for any extraneous endeavor to acquire sense pleasure or philosophical satisfaction. One must be completely convinced that simply by serving Krishna, one will get all perfection in life. Even if one lacks some or all of the above-mentioned qualities, one should sincerely engage in Lord Krishna's service, and gradually one's character will become perfect. One who is a sincere devotee of Lord Krishna will develop all godly qualities by the mercy of the Lord, and one who is already serving the Lord with the above-mentioned qualities is to be understood as the greatest devotee. As indicated in verse 32, a pure devotee of the Lord is fully aware of the pious advantages of executing duties within the Varnashram system. And he is similarly aware of the harmful mistake of neglecting such duties. Still, having full faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a devotee gives up all ordinary social and religious activities and engages fully in devotional service. He knows that Lord Krishna is the ultimate source of everything, and that all perfection comes from Lord Krishna alone. Because of his extraordinary faith, the devotee is called Sattama, or the best among all living beings. As explained by Srila Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita, a devotee who has not yet developed the good qualities mentioned above, but is nevertheless sincerely endeavoring for Krishna consciousness, should receive the mercy of superior Vaishnavas, which is what I was talking about before, when we need further clarification, when we're not really understanding Sastra, please seek the guidance of a guru. One should not necessarily accept intimate association with such an aspirant to pure devotional service, but one should be confident that by chanting the holy names of Krishna, such a person will eventually attain all perfection. One can imagine the beauty of a society filled with saintly persons, as described in these verses. The wonderful Krishna conscious qualities mentioned above are the basis of a peaceful and prosperous society. And if everyone takes to the loving service of the Lord, of Lord Krishna, then certainly the present atmosphere of fear, violence, lust, greed, and insanity can be replaced by a celestial situation in which all leaders and citizens will be happy. the essential points here are mat sarana, sharana. One should take full shelter of Lord Krishna, and mam bhajita. One should worship the Lord through the authorized process. In this way, the entire world can become sattama, almost perfect. And I had another reading here on the meaning of vibhinamsa. There's no need. I'm looking at the time, and I'm conscious I'd like to leave time for questions and discussion. So let me, best I just summarize here at this point. So again, today's class, what's it been about? Pleasing devotees. These devotees, they're very pleasing. And even though King Agnida, or he's a prince at this point, is talking to this celestial nymph, Purvachati, even though in one sense it may look a little bit lusty, a little bit sensual, a little bit sexy, it's not really. That's not the lesson for the devotees. What are the devotees learning about? We're learning about the pleasing aspects, how pleasing devotees are in all respects, in fact. And that was certainly what I picked up from today's class, especially under the guidance of my guru, which is why I say, having a Diksha guru is incredibly important for our understanding of Sastra. So I don't need to labour the point too much. It was about how these devotees are very pleasing. And indeed, we read from Sastra, which clearly listed all the points illuminating how wonderfully pleasing good devotees can be. So I'll stop there. If there are any questions or comments, please open your mic. And if I can't help you, I'm sure somebody in the Zoom room will try to. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Jamuna.
Hariva Mataji.
It's awesome reading from Canto 11. These verses from Canto 11, 29 to 32. And the 28 qualities of a Vaishnava, we can say. And I just remember one devotee, the disciple of my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and he has written like a book, and he has described the 28 qualities of Guru Maharaj. And I just remembered when you were reading these 28 qualities of a Vaishnava, and he has very nicely written and given the examples how these 28 qualities of Vaishnava is there. And we can see in our own devotees, their own spiritual masters or gurus, and we can see all these qualities. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself say, Tarnadapi suni chena, tarorapi sahi sunana, amani na man dena, kirtana sadira. And we can see that humbleness and tolerance of these Vaishnavas. And this is what we learn. We may not be able to have all the 28 qualities of Vaishnava, but the main things as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said to be humble and tolerant and continue chanting our Maha Mantra. And that's one, as a devotee, we can really follow. And that can make our life, perfect. So these are very, very important things which we have. We should read actually all these verses from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and we should try to get, try to invite something at least. And you are so fortunate at the moment that you have a spiritual master that you can communicate and get the guidance. But many of us, though their spiritual masters are alive or they are not in like personally present here, but we cannot get in touch with them even if they are personally present. But the instruction of a spiritual master is always with us. And we should really try to follow the instructions. And that means like their one is there. Bapu is good, but everybody cannot have Bapu. Even they are personally present. Everybody cannot have association, the Bapu of the Guru. But the one is always there in the forms of their lectures, in the forms of their instructions, so many things. So for us, devotee, we have to follow the instructions which are more important for us. So that's all I just wanted to add. Thank you very much. It's such a wonderful class and so much to learn. I always try to learn all those qualities, 28 qualities, and see how much we can really, apply in our own lives. Thank you very much for such a wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Are there any other questions or comments? Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for attending and listening so nicely. And thank you to the children for participating in class today. We are very, very fortunate to have such Vaishnavas amongst us. Thank you, everyone. We'll end there. All glories to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Ki jai.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Her Grace Jamuna Devi Das